9 short stories about love folk art. First story. One evening I realized how much you need to love women. In an underground passage, I helped an old lady with her bags upstairs. She thanked me, then, after a bit of hesitation, asked me to walk her to the courtyard of her house. It turned out that my help was needed to get there faster, since her husband met her every time she left the house. A practically blind old man with a cane could barely move around the courtyard. He was going to meet his beloved and take her bags from the store. I immediately remembered how often I refused to meet my girlfriend from the store or from the train because I was too lazy. A thief's story. My older sister got married. Very often her husband is capricious and makes a dissatisfied face, like, "I won't eat this." She cut the meat not the way he likes it. At these moments I remember my sister's ex-boyfriend. She cooked chicken liver, and he always ate it, saying that he had never tasted anything tastier. And then it turned out that he was allergic to liver. He loved his sister madly. Third story. After giving birth, my wife's eyesight began to deteriorate rapidly. She had been wearing glasses before, but then it got really bad. I couldn't stand watching her suffer, so I took on an extra job and found some income on the internet. I worked like a horse, didn't get enough sleep for almost a year. And here it is, it happened. I saved up for laser vision correction for my wife. She recently returned from the hospital, amazed at everything around her. And I don't care about this year, the energy spent and the sleepless nights. I have a healthy son and a happy wife, and that's the main thing. The fourth story. At 18, I was diagnosed with a small brain tumor. I thought it was cancer and that I would soon die, so I told my boyfriend that I would understand if he left me. To which he turned it into a joke and replied that he could only leave me over his hip, he is a wrestler, if I had such a conversation again. In the end, the tumor turned out to be benign. Now I am 21, we have been married for 2 years, raising a daughter. I will never forget his support in such a difficult moment for me. Fifth story. Lately my mother has had heart problems. I have been living with her for a week. My father has been away on a business trip for a month. He was supposed to be back yesterday. In the evening we are sitting in the kitchen. I look at her, thin, pale, beautiful. There is icy calm on her face, but her hands are shaking. Here the keys are in the lock. My father has returned. My mother runs to the door, clings to him, cries and says something unintelligible. He presses her to himself, and I stand aside and smile. His love is her greatest medicine. Sixth story. I met a guy on the internet. Cheerful, educated, good-natured. Plus, he was very nice looking. We talked on Skype for several years. Then I realized that I loved him. He loved me back, but he was afraid to meet me. I insisted on my own and traveled 1,000 kilometers to see him. It turned out that the young man was disabled. He couldn't walk. We spent 3 months together. We'll soon be filing an application with the registry office. For me, he's the best, my Professor X. Seventh story. I am infertile. I didn't tell the first girl I was in a serious relationship with about it for a long time. I was afraid, and when the truth came out, she just left. I went through a year of depression, then I had another relationship, but it also ended in nothing. About 6 months ago I met a girl, fell deeply in love, kept quiet about my problem. Yesterday I told her everything. I was ready for anything, and she looked at me and said that in the future it would be possible to take a child from an orphanage. I burst into tears. I want to marry her. Eighth story. We recently moved into an apartment in St. Petersburg and started renovating. When we took apart the floor, we found a niche with letters. A woman, Anna, wrote to her husband, Yevgeny, about how they live with 3 children, how they survive, or rather, about how the city does not give up, about how they are all waiting to meet. The last letter was etched into the soul. We are really waiting for you, Zeneka. I can't write anymore, I've run out of pencil, but I will think about you. Feel us, look at the sky and feel. The ninth story. I dated a very ordinary, beautiful girl, spoiled by a good life. It was easy and fun with her, and her means allowed me to satisfy her whims. I proposed to her, she agreed. But literally a couple of weeks later I got into an accident. I was partially paralyzed. The pampered girl was my nurse, a loving woman and a reliable friend for several months, despite how helpless and pathetic I was. She sold many things that I thought she could not live without. She learned to cook, because I needed special food. She forbade me to apologize. Not a shadow of doubt, disgust or fear flashed across her face during all this time. Do you or your friends have similar stories? Share them in the comments.